Now what we did here is we brought in some flagstone and some limestone from the river, and we dug it in to be flat at the base and as close as we could get to the grass lawn line. Now the purpose for that is if you have an edge, you can mow over the edge rather than mow and actually hit the rocks and maybe mess up this or have to come back and use a weed whacker along the edge. So we designed this to look mostly natural, depending on if you're a geologist and look at here, and you'd know the area that this isn't the exact stone that's native here, but this here is. That would be the only problem with the mixture of it, is if you wanted to get super technical. But after we did that, we noticed that there was a slope going down this way. And because of that, we knew we had to put more of the flagstone down there than up here. And even in that, because we don't want we don't want to raise the grade too much down there for these trees that are already stressed from having all the rock and dirt dug up on them. You only really want to change the grade of established trees 1 to 2 inches per year. So we didn't want to do too much of that. This here, we didn't fill in with sand. We left it low, partially because we planted these 2 clumps of spotted touch-me-not before we did the rest of the landscaping because of that time of the year. It needed to be done when it was still cool. Or mostly still cool. It was at the transition at that point. After we did that, leveled these rocks as close as we could get down along the perimeter. During that, as we got the weeds and more of the rock out of here, we started putting in the plants. As I was saying before, it's going to start with spring beauties, and they will seed up in here. This evergreen woodland phlox will fill in through here. Now, another idea here was with the columbine. In Kankakee County, eastern columbine usually grows on limestone slopes. So we're kind of recreating that by putting these 3 columbines on a limestone, by limestone rocks. And as the dirt and the sand that we put in here settles, that will determine where we put more of these rocks to have that look. This will hold soil, but not everywhere. So some areas will have to add more rock. Columbine is a short-lived perennial. We wanted to get it established with these 3 bought to make sure that there'll be flowers in the springtime. But we're also going to add some bags of seed once this soil and sand underneath settles, so there'll be seedlings in the spring too. And that's a way to make it less expensive. They only purchased 3 plants, but they'll end up with a lot more. They'll get the immediate gratification of the columbines flowering right away, but not the cost of a whole bunch of purchased plants, because seeds are much cheaper. Then with the bed itself, because he and she didn't want to have a lot of excess weeding, after we got the right dirt for the right areas, we put a layer of sand, because sand is a lot easier to weed than silty clay, rocky soil. So we put a layer of that. A lot of the flowers we planted on somewhat of a mound of the dirt, so they'll get the full nutrients right away. They'll be able to shoot, because these are natives, they'll be able to have roots that will go farther down and get to the more fertile soil. But in the meantime, it will make it easier to weed while these plants, these smaller plants, get established and become larger plants. Right along here, oh, and we chose this type of bark rather than what we use usually. It's the finely shredded hardwood mulch, because that breaks down quicker. Even though it's better for the plants, it breaks down quicker, so it's more expensive to continuously replace it. And this here, because we're looking to probably get this more covered with more plants over time, so it won't be necessary to keep putting mulch down in areas, because the need for the mulch will get less and less each year as it fills in. Right along here, we changed the transition of the grade. We changed it because this was decent dirt with sand that we put on top for these phlox to spread. But here we had this go deeper down and make sure that the water would somewhat drain here. Because, of course, the spotted touch-me-not here, but we have bee balm. And bee balm is an eastern meadow flower, not like the wild bergamot that's native around here, that's a prairie plant. So because it's a meadow plant rather than a prairie plant, it can't handle the late summer drought. So this and the spotted touch-me-not are the only two really that making sure it gets enough moisture is going to be important. But this spreads by rhizomes. So we put 3 big root systems that were just done flowering and a bunch of little cuttings from the nursery. So this will fill in with the red bee balm in early to mid-summer. And up here, this phlox and eastern redbud was just naturally growing there. There's a nice forest a block from here. So that's likely where the seed at some point came from. And Solomon's seal does attract hummingbirds. Not as much as a lot of the red, yellow, and tubular blue ones, but it does attract hummingbirds. So we put another root of one here, another root of one here, and even though the flowers are just green and the berries are a dark blue-black, it's still a foliage plant, like a good replacement for hosta. So it will stay green and looking trim throughout the growing season. Then the main focus for this